Yeah, you know, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity. And I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport because of just who you are and you represent the growth of this thing. And even today, earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift Black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes.
So this is the original clip that's got everyone mad?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think this is it.
This is it. Because they're saying something about what Megyn Kelly already said, though. No, Megyn Kelly said something about this.
Yeah.
Well, how did she say
Yeah,
that?
she quoted it. She quoted it. This is after she won the Times.
What did she originally say?
They're talking about her quote in the Times. This is her at the banquet when they were talking about when she won.
Actually, I've been looking for it.
I thought it was that video.
It's not a video.
That's why I was like, I don't see why people are so hot about that.
It's not a video. It's a statement.
Is that right there? That was nothing to me. I didn't like it. It didn't bother me at all.
Well, I didn't bother me.
It wasn't bothering, but I mean, I didn't really enjoy it.
It didn't sound too woke.
To me, it sounds like she's been in the knee. It didn't sound like that to me.
She was been in the knee. To me, in my opinion.
I mean, she's not a political activist.
Here it is.
I know, but
here it is. Caitlin Clark is cognizant of the racial underpinnings of her stardom. I want to say I've earned. Oh wait.
This is Megan's.
That's what we just heard.
Is this? Well, this is the quote right here. I want to say I've earned everything, but as a white person, there is privilege, says Clark. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been Black players. This league has been kind of built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think is very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate Black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing.
Hey man, hey guys, look, everybody expects her to be a Larry Bird. We have let's not forget, this is still a woman. That's what it is.
Okay,
I don't really think that is like a crazy statement. I don't think that like saying that like white privilege is like due to her stardom. I think that her being white in a league that's predominantly Black helps her stardom. If that's white privilege, I mean, it kind of is the same for every league. Like in the football world, you got all these Black stars, right? Especially at like skill positions. If it was a white running back killing it, people gonna blow it up. Like look at Cooper DeJean. We ain't seen a white DB since 2002. Cooper DeJean comes in on X. They talk about this is the great white hope. White boys back. Da 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 da. And now you got two white DBs starting, Riley Moss and Cooper DeJean. And white men are making memes and stuff, but no one blows it out of proportion. Why? Because it's just a joke, and it's uncommon to see a white person play that position at that level. Well, so I think it's the same thing with Caitlin Clark. I mean, like you have something that's not the norm, that's dominating. It's gonna catch a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's obvious. The quote though. Was it bending the knee or not?
I mean,
no.
It's all opinions.
I think
she's not a political activist. You talk about if we said that, it would be bending the knee because we get out here and we ride hard for opposite statement. Do I agree with what she said? No. But what I call it bending the knee, no, because I didn't never see her as a conservative, outspoken person in the first place. Yeah, but that was her
okay,
base,
I think
it was.
I think when you start dropping that middle statement, I think that's where it kind of is lost on me. Like when you say when she says there's as a white person there is privilege, but then when you say there's a lot of good players that have been Black, that is a fact, okay? And then you say the league has been built on them. The league ain't been built on nothing. The league loses money since its conception, so it's not really built anything. But then you say, oh, we have to elevate them and invest in them. I'm like, okay, but there's other players in the league, so that to me kind of is lost on me personally.
It was
but,
to me, it was a woke statement.
So yeah, it
was a
kind of is
woke
woke because Angel Reese is getting a lot of attention.
That's what I'm saying.
Angel Reese knows her base. Well, she gonna stick to her base. She brought on transgenders. She's
So-
bringing on everybody in the black community to her podcast.
Have she?
Yes.
What
She brought on a transgender on her podcast.
Is that a fact?
That's a 100% fact.
Who?
We'll pull it up. Doesn't matter.
But-
She knows her base.
With basketball, I feel like
Caitlin Clark threw away her base.
I think basketball is really off of the talent. I feel like outside stuff do impact, your base a little bit more. But
Well, I just think the product of the WNBA is what turns viewers off. You're talking about who watches sports. It's predominantly male watch. Obviously, we've seen that when players start making political things, it hurts the league. I mean, that's why Colin Kaepernick got blackballed, because it was hurting the league and losing money. Now you have a league that's pro-LGBTQ with a bunch of LGBTQ players that won't shut up and won't stop nagging. Obviously, that's going to turn off viewers. I mean, now you have a player that's not LGBTQ and white. I mean,
and she's good.
The majority of America's white, so obviously they're going to take notice to that. She's extremely good and electric, and her play style is crazy. So I mean,
hey, this is why I say it's a bad statement. This statement is going to make the WNBA views go down.
This is what I think, bro. She had to say that because think about who is she signed to?
Nike.
Yeah, and Nike is woke as hell.
Okay, but I
so
mean,
if you don't take that stance, you're not getting a deal.
I mean,
You think it's that deep?
it was
Yes.
only. We gotta keep it 100 though.
Anyone on ESPN?
We have to be honest though. It was only a matter of time for she had to make a statement like this. All the
Yeah.
players were hooting, hollering, and crying
Exactly.
all
So
year.
guess what did she do?
They were
She did.
whining all year. I mean, it's
She did
at
what I
some
would
point.
expect
It's at some
her
point.
to do
Well,
in
I
that
mean,
position.
at some
Not
point,
me,
at
but-
some point, she was gonna have to say something.
Yeah.
But
At
if
some
she-
point, she's gonna have to say
but if she
something.
did
She
it-
lost her bread, bro.
If she didn't, they would have labeled her kind of like a Larry Bird, the trash talking. People would have loved if her and other black players was going at it, and she didn't acknowledge none of that.
Why do you think Larry Bird was such a stud?
Because
he
he
was
was
a
trash
dominant
talking.
white boy.
And he was trash talking. He didn't bend that knee to no.
It's different time.
And guess what?
There's a different.
This
There's
is
a
going to
different.
hurt.
There's a different time period though.
Well,
Wokeness wasn't
hey,
the thing back then.
That's why people are upset. So I see why people are upset, because she's not being Larry Bird, but she's a woman, guys.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't get
we gotta
upset.
keep it 100
I mean-
though. We gotta keep it 100 though.
upset.
She's here to play basketball.
I'm saying I wouldn't get upset.
We gotta keep it
people are
100.
upset.
We gotta keep it 100. She's here to play basketball, not be a political martyr, political symbol. I don't really think she's looking at it like that. It was at some point she was gonna have to make this statement. To me, it's not that crazy. At some point, I knew she was gonna have to say something. This
This is
doesn't
what I
shock
would have
me.
expected her to say. I never
mean,
once
yeah,
thought
it was-
Caitlin Clark was a conservative. Never once did I ever think that.
Well, the world knows now.
I already do.
It's really interesting because since she came into the league, we have to talk about the attention that she has received. She's a phenomenal player. I've never seen anybody shoot the ball the way she shoots the ball in the WNBA. I'm just being honest. She, early on in her collegiate career, reminded me of Steph Curry, and that's where all this attention came from. But before she entered a league that started in 1997, there were the Lisa Leslies and the Don Staleys and the Cheryl Swoops of it all, who really built this league, and they weren't getting the attention because, let's face it, the league was built in a way in which it wasn't mainstream. And all she's simply saying is that I want to respect those who come before me. Now, conservatives do one of two things that I am so fascinated with, especially when it comes to her. Either they whine or they bully. So now it's time to do both. They're bullying her when she decides to just like a post about Taylor Swift post about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They unfollow
Endorsing
her.
voting.
Like saying go vote. And then they unfollow her in droves. And then she says, you know what? I am so grateful for all this money I make. I'm making more money than most of these women will ever see in their lifetime because I am a great player, but I'm also someone that they are using as their message person, that they are using me as a conduit to get their message out. And she says, no, I don't want any of that. I'm grateful. And hopefully I can shine some attention on Bakari because no one's paying attention to Bakari. And so I'm going to give Bakari some attention because you know what? Thank you for keeping this league alive, Bakari. Everything that you've done has really got to the point where I can be here and benefit in this moment. And Megyn Kelly saying she's on a knee apologizing because she's white. She's acknowledging the reverse DEI that no one wants to talk about.
Wow.
She has a privilege. She has been in this league for a year? And she makes more money than the people who built this league, and she understands there's a
What?
reason. Not because she shoots the ball.
Whoa.
Yes, that also helps.
See, I don't agree with
But
that.
there's another reason, Scott. There's a reason that says I'm white, and it's a privilege, and people love me. And I'm okay with that, but I want to also acknowledge everyone else. Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she
She
being
didn't
bullied for
acknowledge that.
acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Well, a couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about respecting people who built something, what did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean,
to
what did they
possibly-
build? What do you mean, what did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
They've
that
had a
doesn't make
business
money?
model that has allowed women who have never had a professional sport here in America, in the United States of America, to play. They've kept it alive as opposed to sending them overseas. That's what she's built. That's what they've built.
This is the problem with the conversation about race in this country that we've never tackled. Because there are two things fundamentally wrong with what Scott said. The first is when you say things like my truth, right, and you just tune that out. My truth is just vastly different than yours. It's not just the truth. In fact, one of the things I would like to just help you understand is that the definition of white supremacy, do you know what the definition of white supremacy is? It's when you feel like equality is oppression. And for some reason, it gets so entangled because people just simply want equality, and you feel like that's taking away something from you. I'm not dare saying that anybody at this table is a white supremacist, but what I am trying to do is at least educate you on what the truth is. And so we both come from different, we want the same America for our children, but we come from different places. We don't necessarily want equality. Some of us just want equity, right? And all I'm saying about Caitlin Clark
That's a different statement.
All I'm saying about it's not a different statement. All I'm saying about Caitlin Clark is this. I have a bias against Caitlin Clark.
Yes,
just innately.
you have said it, yes.
And I wanted to be extremely clear because I'm a South Carolina Gamecock fan, and she took away one championship from us. But I also recognize that Caitlin Clark knows something that this is the second point. The first point was my truth. The second point is, Scott, you cannot denigrate. You cannot simply say that Dawn Staley and Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops and all these women who do something insanely better than all of us at this table did not build anything that you can't respect. Yet the league wasn't built in a way that would make money. That's not what it is.
That's not what it was for.
But these ladies gave their all. The Sue Birds of the world. I mean, we don't even talk about
you can go down the list.
But you can go down the list. And so that's my only point.
But
and hoping that you're able to understand that.
But Scott, you're saying, but Scott, it's disrespectful for you to say what have they built. There are little children right now, little girls at home hoping that they can play in what they call the WNBA. And the reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in this.
And so
that's not
Scott, stop it. Stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickie's arena.
All right, let's take a pause. That's not the reason why they're alive right now. They're alive because the NBA gives them money and allows them to keep going.
Okay, I think
not because these black women.
We all here run college track. We all understand the track is not a lucrative sport. I run pro track and I never expect to see $1. Do I complain? No. So am I thankful for the platforms to do it? Yes. But I can't do it and then complain about not getting money because I knew when I got into this, that's not what it's for. That is the problem I have with them. Because if you understand that, okay, the WNBA is just to give them an opportunity to be pro basketball players. And that's a great thing. And I agree with that. But they can't expect to get no money, just like I can't expect to get no money.
To add on to that point, in a professional league, it's a business. In order to get money, you have to generate it in a surplus. They're actually operating in a deficit. So all the money that the league has been ran on and built on is losing money. They actually have to continue to borrow money from the investors, which is the NBA. So when they hoot and holler about not having facilities and not having equal pay and not having the millions of dollars that the NBA has, well, the product that you put out does not make money. It loses money. Actually, the investors are actually paying money for you to have all of the things that you have. And on top of that, she said, this really blew me. Like, she was like, well, it's white privilege that Caitlin Clark is getting paid more than all of the ones that came before her. It's white privilege that she only been in the league a year and she has all this. We have to talk about that. This is professional sports. Coming out of college right now, there's college athletes that get paid. Who gets paid the most as college athletes? The college athletes who are the best players and have the most followers. Caitlin Clark is the best player with the biggest following. So what do you think she makes the most money for? Because
views.
She has more views, she has more fans, and she's the best freaking player. So you know what that generates? Money. It's great to invest in that. When people are trying to invest, they're trying to invest in the best and the biggest and the most popular. Why? Because it's gonna make money.
Yep, and she just messed it up.
That's business
I don't
101.
think her fan base, but we don't know if she messed up her bread too bad.
She didn't at all.
She gonna go out there.
The viewership. Maybe Nike gonna give her money.
Well, once
But
she
have
start
her
clapping,
get unfollowers. Just like I like LeBron hooping, but I don't like him as his political views. So that makes a lot of people unfollow LeBron. So I bet a lot of people unfollow Caitlin Clark, like we've been seeing on the internet all week.
No, it's interesting though.
And Bakari, he said, okay, so the definition of white privilege is suppression being seen as equality, right? Is that what it said, or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So that shit, okay, I'm like, okay. So whenever black people talk about white people this, white people that, white people this, white people that, that's not, you don't want them to talk about you like that.
Oh boy.
So what would that be called? Black supremacy. Oh.
Well, they said
But that's not real though.
It says it's not real because you don't hold a position of power.
You know, it's
but
interesting.
some black people do.
Bakari do.
It's interesting because
so no black people hold positions of power.
It's interesting that Bakari is like, don't denigrate those that came before. Listen, those players are exceptionally talented. No one said they weren't. But to say that they built something would imply that it's better off now than where it was. It's better off now because.
That's not implying that. But.
Well, I'm just gonna keep it 100. Some of the teams that were in the league when they were playing don't exist anymore. Why? Because they don't have the money to stay afloat. They were not generating enough views to get to break even or even break a deficit to don't put money into this league that's been losing money. There's a reason for that.
They have two different points.
Listen. I will say that they did continue the league and put a product out there to the league to continue to exist now on the deficit that it exists. That is a fact. But to say that they built something, what did they build? They were given a platform. Yes, they used the platform to showcase their exceptional talents. Yes, no one taking that away. But the WNBA has not been built. Just given the fact that it does not generate a positive
they didn't build any
amount of
revenue,
money.
but they built a platform for women to see,
to play
other
pro
women
basketball,
to look up to want to be something.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
for sure.
they have
That is
two
a fact.
different points.
That is a
Scott
fact.
has a money
Right.
point, and
That's
she
it.
has
a different,
So they have two
exactly,
different points.
Okay, well that is
Bakari
a
is
fact.
the one who he just.
But it doesn't matter. Let's continue.
On this episode, he touched Scott. Scott said, "Don't touch me." Today.
I was in Dickey's
Stop it.
Arena.
Everybody,
Let me just
guys, one at a
tell you. I was in
time,
Dickey's
please.
Arena.
One at a
I was
time.
in Dickey's Arena on Sunday because I travel, follow my Gamecocks basketball. Something fascinating happened. Dickey's Arena, TCU, right? Haley Van Lith. They averaged 3,000 people a game.
Yeah.
The Gamecocks came to town with Don Staley. You had 9,000 people in Dickey's Arena. You know who benefits from that? The concession workers, the city, etc. After the game, hundreds of people around there just to shake Don Staley's hand. What you have to understand, and we have to get out of this, is there's a level of empathy that we have to have and understanding that we have to have, and we have to just stop being so abrasive, caught in these social media moments when we're talking about issues of race.
This is exactly what I was about
ask.
to say, which is that, listen, Jeff and Scott, my dear colleagues, you don't have to defend this.
You don't.
Okay?
You could just say
it doesn't have to be.
Defend what?
You know, the idea that Caitlin Clark should be denigrated for simply saying that she entered a league that other players who came before her were black helped
yes.
build. There's nothing controversial about that, and it doesn't need
It
to be.
feels so bland.
Yeah, she
It's
doesn't
like
need to
bland
be.
and gracious.
Why are people attacking her for that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I feel like it says more about the people who are getting offended by it than
That's what
her.
I just said.
I think they're just disappointed that she appears to have been captured by the woke mob.
You don't like
She's
the
like
word.
being gracious.
Hold on one second.
here's the
Like
disappointment.
being
White
gracious
privilege.
and saying-
Hold on one
Let him
second.
articulate this because I want to learn something.
I feel a little bad for her because she's going to learn that it will never be enough. No matter how much of the phrasing, no matter how much of the groveling you do, it will never be enough for the people in that league that hate her guts. It
Why
will
do
never
you
satisfy.
assume
They hate her
that
guts.
why do
Yes,
you
they do.
assume
They
that
do
she
not.
is trying to pander? Isn't it
Because
also
I hear the language. It's the language of the
Scott,
pandering.
listen, let's get off the internet for 1 second. Everybody, right? This is not a conversation about wokeness, about my truth, about all that stuff. Okay, I know that these are buzzwords on the internet. This is a young woman who's working in a league where she has colleagues. She said something about her place in that league why do you think automatically that it can't possibly be genuine?
It's the equivalent of me saying, you know why I wanted to be a journalist? Because I saw Barbara Walters on television. Because I saw someone that I really admired, and I liked the way she stood up for herself. It's the equivalent of me saying, you know who else I like? And go down a list of women who don't look like me, who do exactly what I do now, who gave me the dream, who gave me the opportunity. No one's offended by that statement, because I am talking about the work ethic, I'm talking about the quality of what they do, and I'm talking about the ability to see the dream, and it is possible. She grew up watching Maya Moore, who happens to be black. And she said, when I saw Maya Moore, and my dad would drive me an hour away to see Maya Moore play, I was like, is this a real thing? Can I live in this world? It's no different.
All right, let me let you get the very last word.
Well, it's a good question. When I hear the phrase white privilege, sports is the one place where nobody on the field has any privilege at all. She doesn't get extra points when she shoots because she's white. She gets the same number of points as anybody else. Sports is the great equalizer, and it just felt like to a lot of people that she was groveling for no reason, because she is an amazing player who deserves all the accolades she's getting right now for doing what she's doing for women's basketball.
Here go Bakari.
I have something to say.
Acknowledging her truth.
I have something to say. They said that she was being gracious. Well, if she was being gracious by saying, well, there's black players that came before me, they were great, they inspired me, and they built the platform that I'm on, no one would have a problem. Because that's a factual statement.
That's a factual statement.
But when she came out and said, as a white person, there's privilege, I have white privilege, and I'm benefiting from privilege in this league that black people built, that's fucking groveling!
Yeah. See, look, if you could eliminate that sentence, it wouldn't be so bad.
Because black women did build this league. They did. If she would have said, I know black women built this league, but man, I just won't play basketball.
Yeah. I'm just here to hoop. I don't want to get political. I'm just here to hoop.
I'll be ready for a Caitlyn game.
Like, I just don't understand why they trying to make it seem like the reason she gets paid and has all this stardom and all this stuff is because she's white. Does her being white help? Sure. Of course,
because it's
not common.
Like Tiger Woods. Do people say Tiger Woods had black privilege? Have you ever once in your motherfucking life heard somebody say Tiger Woods has black privilege? Have you heard that?
It's just an anomaly.
Hell no.
It's a unicorn.
It's an anomaly.
That's
Matt
it.
Bowlen.
Leave it at that.
Boy, hold on. If we see the Harvard debate and we see the pure nigga with dreads up there, we would be like, he had tattoos. We'd be like,
so me?
What the? Yes, if Brandon was at Harvard, keep it 100. If you see Brandon debate at Harvard, niggas would be like, whoa.
Well, I respect Brandon.
Yeah, because we hear, but at first glance.
Glance, Brandon.
Look at that boy. Look at, hold on.
This ain't you come talk some basketball.
I'll say the truth on this channel. Hold on. Do we have black privilege? Because this 4 niggas talking about politics. It's an anomaly.
I said that.
It's an anomaly.
I was finna say, I said that in my brain while we was
I say the truth. I don't give a damn.
But I was like,
it's an anomaly.
Yeah, it happens.
Niggas don't talk about politics. Niggas talk about NBA YoungBoy.
But we
in the NBA.
Everybody's and big old booties and chicken. I'm just kidding.
When people say that we grift, every group of people and every side is gonna be upset about anything you say.
Yeah, you gotta keep it 100.
Yeah.
There's no way you sit here and watch one of our videos from start to finish, listen to what we say, watch us break it down, watch us go through it all, and process it all, and say we grifted. You can't. You can't.
Because we don't even agree with each other.
Exactly.
So if you don't agree with one side, they're gonna be upset. Hey guys, I know some people are upset with Caitlyn. She's a woman. We should expect that, and it is what it is, man. Hey, don't expect Luka don't say that shit though, because it's men.
Luka is not American either.
I know. I'm just saying.
That's why I was confused. Like, why they bring up the white privilege situation right now if we have like major NBA players like LeBron James right now.
They don't ever say this. They don't.
He's a black player.
Listen though,
he's the biggest player in the NBA, and he's black. So what's the difference?
Because he's the best. Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Listen. You'll never see Jokic make this statement. You'll never see Luka make this statement.
They're not Americans.
You'll never see. They white.
Yeah,
they from the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say.
To the Caucasus
Nick
Mountains.
Bosa. You remember with the Nick Bosa situation, how much slack and backlash he got. Yeah. That is why, part of the reason why Caitlin Clark made that statement.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the reason.
I think Caitlyn,
part of it, bro. They would have ate her up for not saying that shit.
I think because everybody be beating up on her in the league, and they probably getting in her head and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and then she made. I think she would have made that statement even if she would have went to the league without the beating up and all that. I think that's who Caitlin Clark is, guys. I'm gonna be real. I think that's who it is. But hey, guys, let us know what y'all think in the comments.